What do we got for the Horde group? We got ourselves Bleeding Paw. Dude, Bleeding Paw is gonna... This is gonna be the next Pelcher, man. This is gonna be the next Daddy-O. This is gonna be the Boomy Extraordinaire. Just keep at it, man. Just gotta keep at it. Play maybe some different talents or something. But yeah, maybe change up the playstyle a little bit. We got Seawark trying out some Feral. We got Dead Zone coming back as a Ret. We got Killa. We also got Korm. I want to see Korm play. We also got Team 4 Alliance Bindus leading the team with Cinderella. We also got Dal Fury. His name is Dal Fury. You would think that would be my character's name. It's not. One, I think playing on Affliction because I asked him. And we got Voldan coming back in. I'm glad to see Voldan back in here. One is going to try to go as many people as he can. Play an Affliction. I asked him to play Affliction if possible. I did say, like, could we get some Affliction Warlock? And one is going to give it a chance. It is going to be Bleeding Paw coming up at the very beginning. He's just coming in just to cry a little bit. He's like, no, why do I have to go against one? No stealth duel for this one. Both of these guys are going to open up. It's going to be a stable Affliction. Try to stack up 4-1 off the bat onto Bleeding Paw. Gonna get the pet up and running. Got so much dot damage. Bleeding Paw can actually deal with a portion of this damage of one by decursing himself with Curse of Agony. One is trying to find an angle onto Bleeding Paw. He's just continuing to run. Bear form just has a little bit extra health to work with. The pet is going to be on the other side, getting a few laser beams. Actually, that's actually a fair amount of damage from that pet with those dots together. The pet is going to come down. This was the big damage out of one. Going to resummon the Fell Hunter. And Bleeding Paw looks like he doesn't have any more dots. I guess for one of the things about Affliction is you're just not that mobile, and the dots do well, but you got to refresh those dots a lot. So maybe that's the that's why not a lot of people play it, because it's very much like Affliction. Oh no, much like Destruction, but you just don't get like the same kind of CC effect. Trying to get some UAs onto Bleeding Paw. Big old Drain Life coming down. Gonna get interrupted on it. Bleeding Paw is gonna take a little bit of damage from all this UAs. Trying to get back in cat form. Back into Boomy. Trying to go for some damage. Reflector is gonna come out. Gonna get an interrupt onto Bleeding Paw. And Sable Affliction is gonna come out. Drain Life again. That's gotta be a fair amount of damage from the Drain Life. Double Regrowth doesn't even let Bleeding Paw recover too much, but he's gonna be able to get a fair amount of health back. Still holding on to Barkskin. Holding on to the massive heal. Has Thorns if necessary, but not going to work that well against one. Is going to be able to, let's say, dot the pet. And Thorns is down, so maybe one will have to spend a soul shard resummoning the pet. Going to be, again, another Drain Life coming down, so one is trying to maintain their health as best as possible. Interrupt coming down into Bleeding Paw. He's able to get some Solar Rats in there. A Stable Affliction trying to come out. That is going to be a Death Bolt. Regrowths are going to keep him up and running, though, for a little bit longer. One, I think, basically needs to get in there. But it kind of just shows you a little bit where Affliction is at and why not a lot of people play Affliction in PvP. Why Destruction and even Demonology, to some extent, might be better. But we'll see. Maybe this duel is not out of the way. Maybe because Bleeding Paw can deal with Curse of Agony by decursing it as a druid. Maybe that's the only reason why he's having an easier time with it. Maybe every other class will have a hard time, because the Paladin definitely had a hard time because he can't do anything with that dot. There's going to be one UA until Bleeding Paw is going to get himself a massive heal while in Bear Form. Actually healing a lot while in Bear Form. Bash coming onto the pet so he doesn't get silenced. Full Moon trying to come out onto the one as Drain Life comes in. Going to land the Full Moon. Going to be able to get a lot of instant cast. A bunch of UAs are getting stacked up onto the Warlock. Drain Life coming out. Bleeding Paw, does he have a lot of dots on him? It's going to be a big old Death Bolt. Doesn't look like Death Bolt does a lot. There's going to be an interrupt onto Bleeding Paw as he's trying to get a cast off. Barkskin is available to try to keep him up and running. Is going to be in Bear Form, trying to reduce how much damage it takes. Big heal coming out for him. Almost at half health. It's going to be Horror Effect. And one maybe could go for a Fear Spam or something. Just going to try to get a Fear onto the Druid. UAs are coming out. Big damage by the pet. Going to increase the damage. Oh, well, he's down. Sharp Fear coming down. More UAs are getting rotted until Drain Alive. Big haste damage. Lots of burst damage actually coming out. Bleeding Paw is able to survive at a portion of it. While in Bear Form, I think he gets a big Bear Form heal. The Frenzied Regeneration. But looks like he's out of all cooldowns. So that's going to be a last laser by the Warlock pet. I like that. Demon Hunter coming out next. One is going to trick it out of it. Maladin coming out onto the Demon Hunter. Going to be able to interrupt them on the Ivium. That's what DH is still running. The one is going to be able to get himself a bit of CC. Maybe. Ooh, he's gonna line himself with a reflect, so then the Demon Hunter actually cannot kick through reflect, since that's a magical ability on its own. Gonna go for a horror effect afterwards, after getting dots onto Korm, and Korm is gonna be able to get a stun. Needs to get the Metamorphosis rolling, needs to get the Leech rolling. Is gonna matter right now as a Death Bolt hits him. Eye Beam to follow onto one, is gonna be able to interrupt the Warlock. Stun to fall off of that, trying to land another Fear, is gonna be able to land a Fear. UAs are trying to line up, but it looks like the UAs are actually breaking Korm's Fear, so maybe that's part of the playstyle for one. Maybe that's where Warlocks are not that good for Affliction. It's because UAs, you used to be able to stack a few before if you're broke, but now it feels like it just breaks immediately. Maybe the dot damage is way too much for that Fear nowadays. That's gonna be one, taking him out with a big old suck. Grab himself a Hellstone. Next up is gonna be a Paladin. Is gonna get the reflect going in case the Paladin decides to reflect on himself. Gonna be able to land a Fear. It's gonna be a trinket out of the Paladin. Wall coming out for one. Dead Zone is just trying to end him right now. Is the pet even available, or did the pet die for one? Looks like the pet might have died, and one as a Warlock just wants to run around the circle, letting Dead Zone just get dotted up. As a pony is up and running, trying to land a Fear, is going to get interrupted onto the Fear. Has a Warlock Hellstone if necessary, has a Gateway if he needs to, is going to try to land a Fear onto Dead Zone. Dead Zone is actually going to zone him out. Shadow Fury coming out with a Drain Life. One is actually going to be able to get a bit of healing off of Drain. Is going to be able to summon a Fell Hunter off of that. Drain Life coming out, Hodge coming in. Does he have any way out of it? Looks like Dead Zone doesn't have too much damage rolling for it. He's going to have short wings available. This is where the Warlock is going to make his great away. Trying to land another Fear onto Dead Zone with more Drain Life to follow. Just continue to Drain Life him as much as he humanly can. Those Judgments, those Hammers are just flying all over the place though. Is going to get a horror effect onto the Paladin. Maybe a bubble available. The Paladin is going to go for Shield of Vengeance. Still running at the Warlock. The shield is probably going to pop very, very close to him. Malik coming down. One doesn't have a lot to work with. Almost killed Dead Zone. He dies too without a bubble. He thought he could survive it. Oh my goodness. Well, now we see where the Warlocks are on damage, especially Affliction. That was a good duel by one. It's going to be a Rake, Rip onto Killer out of Voldan. Going to go for a big old setup. Backpedaling a little bit, but it's okay. Fist of Fury coming down. This is where Killian doesn't want to head into that fist. They might just do get to do a bit of damage though. I'm glad to see Voldan coming back in these duels. I think it's like second time ever joining these duels, man. He gets a stun onto Killa. Big old bleed still rolling. Voldan is going to get stunned up by Killa. The trinkets out of it. There's going to be safe to trinket onto Killian right now. It's still holding on to Karma if ever so necessary. Has wall, has dampen harm. Taking a bit of damage from those bleeds right now still to this day. There's going to be images coming out. Touch of Death. Maledict to follow. Voldan is going to take a lot of damage. Is he going to have any defensive? Could go for a massive heal. Is going to pre-wall on this. Might just want to heal this, but that's going to be... Oh my god. Live threat to death. Doesn't even need to heal. Is going to be able to catch himself a reset. Killian hasn't used Karma yet. Voldan can still go for a heal if necessary. No, gonna go behind the pillar, get himself a few heals while he's chilling in the back. Gonna get a slow onto Voldan. Big kick. Maybe Fist of Fury. And that's gonna be Fist of Fury with Zoan. Karma coming out as Thorns come out. This is where Killer is just gonna roll his face on the keyboard, do as much damage to Voldan as possible. Try to see if he can eliminate 24% dampening right now. That's gonna be Karma taking away at Voldan, but looks like he survives it by the hair on his chin. Has a heal still available. Wall available in 20 seconds. He could be popping heal right now. Stun coming out. Chicken side of it. Needs to heal right now. Has a massive talent heal. Fist of Fury coming down. No way to deal with Killian for a bit. Using the heal right now. 26% dampening. Try to get a big old bite onto Killa. Bash coming out to follow. Voldan used to bail the hell out of the wall available very, very soon again. Needs to be spamming for that wall right now if he wants to survive. It has a little bit of heal rolling for himself. Wall maybe available. Might go down. And he does go down. Killian casting Vivifies back to back. Gonna get hit with a Rake. Cinderella. Gonna hit with a Touch of Death. Thorns coming out of the bad. Killer has no way to deal with this. Gonna get a melee roll on into Cinderella though. And Vivifies are coming out for Killer. Vivify. Cinderella gonna try to get her open. It looks like Killian is completely DR'd to full. That Rake should still be the full Rake though. Malik coming out into Killer, completely mallet out, rooted out in the open. Safety chicken available, is gonna be able to port a little bit. In cap coming on Cinderella, continue to vivify as much as he can. Let's wall and dampen are both used. Needs to wait for the Karma. Can you live with that Karma? Fist of Fury coming out, trying to deal with Cinderella, trying to outlive it. 10 seconds on the clock right now. Gonna go for a Vivify 1, Vivify 2. Cinderella is gonna want to go for a reset. Can Killian interrupt the reopener by the Feral? Not gonna happen. Can survive it. Maybe Karma might have to be available. Stun coming out right now. This is where Cinderella wants to end him. Karma right now, maybe. And that's gonna be a big old bite. All the dots are gonna be refreshed back to Cinderella. Getting locked down to Fist of Fury. Even goes into bear form. This is where Killer's gonna be able to get some healing off of it. As Thorns do come out for Cinderella. At least gonna be able to get a slow onto Killa. But Killa is not slowed quite yet. is continuing to run after the Feral. Killer's kind of out of all cooldowns though. He's going to get a port next to Cinderella. Not going to let the Feral get the opener, but Bash is going to land still regardless. Big old bite could come out for Cinderella. Not a big enough bite. That's going to be some Vivifys for Killer though. Is going to make sure to stop Cinderella from being able to re-stealth. It's a big Fist of Fury onto the Feral, though. Safety Trick can get a proc right now. Shortest stun in the world onto Killagen. And Killagen is just going to sprint way out of there, dude. Like a race car. Getting out of this. Cinderella is going to have a healing rolling very, very soon. Killer has 12 seconds on the wall, 41 seconds on Dampen Harm, about 40 seconds on Karma. As defense is coming up very soon, is going to interrupt the stun opener by Cinderella. Just to keep him out in combat, getting rooted up. Fist of Fury coming down. Cinderella has no way to deal with this. Thorns are up and running. Maybe wall available for Killer. Could go for a wall. Getting interrupted on his cast. Going to dragon kick way the hell out of there. Wall coming up right now. Vivifys are coming in back to back. Cinderella still has images hitting him from back. That's where Killer. Still playing defenses, still playing for Vivifys, playing for the Karma right now. Opener coming in by the Feral. Cinderella is going to pre-wall this damage. Just going to pre-wall and run away. I guess he expected maybe for Killer to do something of that. So maybe not the best use of wall as Cinderella came out pre-walled. As he has Killagen complete CC. Maybe he was not watch DRs. Gonna get another restun onto Killer. Stun coming out. Touch of Death coming in. Killagen's gonna get a Maledict Chicken to follow. Fist of Fury onto Cinderella. Can he survive this? Would have wanted that wall right about now. Lots of damage coming now. Gonna get hit with a Touch of Death. Can at least recover. Maledict Chicken coming down onto Killer. But that's gonna be a Karma to lock Cinderella down. And Binus is the only one left. No, he's not the only one. Daleth Fury is also in there. 44% dampening. Rushing out to see if he can stake out the Monk right now. Gonna get hit with an incap of the bat. Vivifys coming out for Killer. Not gonna have any defenses for a while. Stun coming out with an eye beam. It looks like Demon Hunter is gonna be able to take out the Monk with an Annihilate. Gonna be an opener stun by Seavark. Trink coming out for Daleth Fury. Gonna go into meta right afterwards. Eye beam to cover. Gonna be a Blade Dance to get a bit of dodge rolling. Gonna actually imprison Seavark for a moment. Seavark gonna have Thorns up and running. Gonna take some damage from above. Maledictor right now. Gonna get some regrowths rolling. 48% dampening though. That's gonna be a little bit rough. Daleth Fury, pretty sure he doesn't get any Thorns damage from a ranged attack like that. So maybe that's what he did. Still doesn't matter. Is that a long meta? Hard to tell. There's gonna be a stun onto Seavark from a distance. Daleth Fury can't quite reach him fully. Gonna get a few Annihilates or two before his meta falls off. Gonna get the eye beam rolling again. Meta up and running. It's gonna be a wall for Seavark. Daleth Fury has a Trinket rolling. Blade Dance to follow to dodge all the damage from Seavark. Getting bashed up. But he still can get it. Interrupting onto regrowth. Couple more Annihilates. Maybe a Blade Dance. Maybe a little bit of damage. Daleth Fury does take him out at the end. Oh my goodness. That was a good set of duels towards the end, boys. Good set of duels, boys. Let's fucking go. Frame XML, social queue, LUI, attempt index, local resulting info, AI. What is this? Frame XML, social queue, 60.